You wake up, inhale, and your chest keeps asking for more. Outside, oxygen has fallen from 21% to 10.5. Every breath now delivers only half the oxygen your body expected. There was no explosion. No buildings collapsed. The air still looks normal. That is what makes this frightening. The danger is invisible. Here's our rule. The missing oxygen is replaced by nitrogen, so air pressure stays roughly normal. Only oxygen concentration changes. At sea level, your lungs now experience oxygen conditions similar to an extreme mountain above 5,000 meters. But you had no days to climb or adapt. It happened while you slept. Your brain notices first. Breathing speeds up. Your heart pumps faster, trying to deliver enough oxygen with every beat. You may feel a headache, dizziness, or tingling. But hypoxia can also feel strangely calm. Your judgment may fail before you understand that anything is wrong. That is the first trap. You stand, reach for your phone, and stumble. A simple decision suddenly takes too long. At roughly 10% oxygen, controlled studies have found major losses in memory, attention, processing speed, and coordination. So the first global failure is not machinery. It is human decision-making. Now look outside. Drivers drift across lanes. Pilots reach for emergency oxygen. Dispatchers mishear addresses. Every mistake creates a second emergency. Children, older adults, pregnant people, and anyone with heart or lung disease would be at greater risk. Physical effort makes the demand rise even faster. Hospitals switch to emergency mode. Oxygen cylinders roll toward intensive care, operating rooms, and newborn units. But the supply was designed for patients, not whole cities. Compressed oxygen and concentrators become priceless. Concentrators separate oxygen from surrounding air, yet with half the starting concentration. They must work harder and still need electricity. Then something unexpected happens in the kitchen. The gas flame shrinks, flickers, and goes out. Most familiar flames struggle when oxygen falls this low. Fire needs fuel, heat, and enough oxidizer. Remove half the oxygen, and that triangle breaks. That sounds like good news, fewer fires. But now boilers, furnaces, stoves, and many industrial burners stop producing reliable heat. Cars face the same chemistry. A gasoline engine mixes fuel with oxygen. Give it half the oxygen, and the engine must burn less fuel. Some modern engines may reduce fuel and keep turning weakly. Others stall. Heavy trucks, farm machines, ships, and backup generators lose power when they are needed most. Power plants become a mixed picture. Wind, solar, hydro, and nuclear systems do not need atmospheric oxygen for their main energy source. Fossil fuel plants do. Even the surviving grid depends on thousands of operators, repair crews, control rooms, and cooling systems working correctly. Hypoxia turns every routine task into a risk. By midday, cities begin creating oxygen refuges. Hospitals, salrooms. Aircraft oxygen systems are emptied. Industrial gas companies divert every cylinder they can move. But pure oxygen is not a safe room. High oxygen makes materials ignite more easily. The goal is a carefully controlled, breathable mixture, not an atmosphere waiting to burn. Now, widen the camera beyond the city. Humans are not the only animals struggling. Birds lose endurance in flight. Large active mammals cannot sustain movement. Predators fail to chase, prey fail to escape, and food webs begin breaking in both directions. Oceans do not instantly lose all dissolved oxygen. Water stores and circulates oxygen on different timescales. But the exchange with the atmosphere has changed, and marine animals already living near low oxygen zones face another squeeze. Could forests and plankton simply refill the missing oxygen? They would keep photosynthesizing in daylight. Yet there is a catch. Plants and plankton also respire, and most organic matter is eventually eaten or decomposed. That process consumes much of the oxygen photosynthesis produced. Roughly half of Earth's gross oxygen production comes from the ocean. Roughly the same amount is used again by marine life. It is a cycle, not a giant emergency refill button. The oxygen in our atmosphere is a massive reservoir built through geological processes over millions of years. Replacing half of it naturally would not happen within a human lifetime. So survival becomes an engineering problem. First, protect enough people to keep power, water, medicine, and food systems operating. Next, build sealed habitats with monitored oxygen, carbon dioxide removal, temperature control, and fire-safe materials. Industrial air separation plants can produce oxygen. Electrolysis can split water into hydrogen and oxygen. Both demand enormous, reliable energy. Food production moves indoors where possible. Greenhouses help, but plants are grown mainly for food and controlled recycling, not because a few rooms of leaves can repair the planet. Outside those habitats, work becomes brief and planned. Supplied air suits replace normal uniforms. Every door becomes an airlock. Every leak becomes urgent. Over weeks, some survivors begin acclimatizing. Their bodies increase breathing, alter circulation, and produce more red blood cells. But acclimatization has limits. It does not turn 10.5% oxygen into normal air, and thicker blood can create new strain. The greatest division is no longer between countries. It is between communities with energy and controlled air and communities without them. Humanity might survive in protected pockets. Civilization, as we know, would not continue outside them. And here is the final twist. Oxygen is not merely something life uses. It is part of the energy system behind movement, thought, fire, transport, and industry. Cut it in half, and Earth does not become silent immediately. It becomes slower, weaker, and less reliable, one breath, one engine, and one bad decision at a time. The air would look exactly the same, but every living thing would discover how much of the modern world was built on an invisible 21%.